Hey everybody, I'm at the dog park. Here, check it out. I ran across an article. I think I encountered it on the ChatGPT subreddit, but it could have been the Singularity subreddit. It could have been any of various subreddits that I peek in on but don't really participate on. And it's a summary of Noam Chomsky's position on large language models, the GPT machines, as John Vervaeke would say. And if you'll recall, and maybe you don't remember, but over a decade ago, the human Jeopardy champion was beaten by a computer system called Watson, which I'm told was the size of 10 refrigerators, the hardware that it ran on. And that was supposedly, the threshold of the singularity. Parsing questions or parsing answers in natural language and then coming up with the appropriate question, which is, what Jeopardy is, was something that had only been, it had been the exclusive domain of humans up till that point. And then, here comes Watson kicking ass. And, we had all the talk that we have going on right now about, large language models powering chatbots, which really seem to understand us and can converse with us in a way that is intelligible and salient in a way that the chatbots just have never been before. This is kind of a replay of what happened with Watson over a decade ago. And I remember at the time, I was pretty impressed by Watson, and Noam Chomsky was decidedly unimpressed. He said, this is just, a brute force approach. It's not elegant. I got to get out into the sun because I'm getting munched on by mosquitoes. Anyway, somebody posted this article, and this isn't really quoting Chomsky. It's more paraphrasing Chomsky and then cranking up the ridicule. I don't think Chomsky is calling anybody, at least not in public, in his public language, idiots for thinking that, there's a lot to behold here with ChatGPT and Bard and Bing and, all the others. Now, I'm very interested. I'm talking to these things daily, and I'm talking about these things, not daily, but, every few days when I put up a video. So I'm interested. But there is this unfortunate pattern of, in order to justify being interested in something, to most people, it seems you either have to say, okay, this is the greatest thing ever. This is the opening of the door to paradise. This is all your dreams made flesh. Or this is it. This is the end. This is the apocalypse. This is, the beginning of the inescapable dystopia, the jobless future, the war against the machines, all that stuff. And this is important, but it's not the end of the world, and it's not, it's not the singularity. It's not the opening of the bottomless treasure chest from which you can pull any desire, fully formed, and just have it. It's neither of those things. I have a very long-standing interest in the philosophy of mind. I studied it in grad school in the 90s. It's, it's an interest of mine. I did a podcast for over a decade called the C Realm Podcast, where the C stands for consciousness. That's my thing. It's why I'm interested. Although that did cause a lot of confusion, because a lot of people hear the word consciousness and they think, California metaphysics. they think crystals and, spirit guides and all that good stuff. And, I've dabbled, but really my interest is more formal and academic and philosophical. And much more in line with artificial intelligence than with seances or ayahuasca ceremonies or whatever. And again, I've partaken of ayahuasca ceremonies. I've traveled to the Amazon 4 times to do that. But there is another unfortunate habit of mind, which, the internet and social media and YouTube encourages, and that is the idea that if you're not concerned to the exact same degree that I'm concerned about the exact same thing that I'm concerned about, you're sheeple. You are just believing what you're told, you're behaving mindlessly, you're following the flock, and you're contemptible for your lack of intellectual curiosity and your credulousness and your trust of authority. You really absolutely need to be damn concerned about the very thing that I'm concerned about. And if you're concerned about anything else, you're a sucker. You've been played. Another bad habit of mind that is really on display right now, particularly around so-called AI, I'll come back to that, is FOMO. This is your moment to get rich. If you're not harnessing all of these large language model enabled tools right now, you're missing out on the opportunity to make $1,000 a minute, you know, and be the next rags to riches billionaire. Yeah, some people are getting rich off this stuff, but as I say, don't worry about missing the boat. There are lots of boats. Boats are leaving the dock every hour of every day. And yeah, right now, some people are harnessing these tools to automate tasks and to attract customers and get people to put in their credit card number. It's not a limited time offer. And, you know, in a sense, it's a limited time offer. The keys to easy wealth will be different, you know, as time progresses. But if that's your thing, if you're always pursuing, you know, that prospect of immediate life-changing money, there will always be somebody dangling something in front of you, like a shiny object or a pair of keys, to get your attention. You can fear missing out if you want to. If that's your thing, if that's what animates your days and gives you purpose, then, you know, focus on that. I'm just not. And I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm just saying I don't. All right, AI. Are these large language models and the interactions, the chat-based interactions with humans that they allow, is that artificial intelligence? Yes, of course it's artificial intelligence. It is something that, until very recently, was the exclusive domain of human capabilities. You had to have a human brain to, you know, present as if you understood in the ways that ChatGPT understands or appears to understand. Now, this is something that Chomsky says, and I absolutely agree. ChatGPT doesn't understand anything. It doesn't know anything. It doesn't know that it's talking to a human. It doesn't know what humans are. All it does is map statistical correlations between words and phrases in a very impressive way to give a very impressive impression, you know, of understanding, to simulate human understanding. It simulates it very well and in ways that can be put to good use. So artificial intelligence basically is, you know, it's a problem-solving capability, and it is an ability to do things which, until, you know, the most recent advances in computer technology, were the exclusive domain of human minds. Yeah, ChatGPT certainly counts. It is artificial intelligence. It's not artificial general intelligence. Intelligence doesn't imply understanding. Intelligence doesn't imply, you know, self-regard or self-consciousness. It doesn't imply sentience. It just implies an ability to solve problems, to formulate complex strategies, you know, multi-step strategies to achieve a goal. These models do that. They can do that. They are artificial intelligence. They're just not artificial general intelligence, which I think is what Chomsky's saying when he says these things are not artificially intelligent. He just has a different definition of intelligence. Anyway, this is a very boring message. The boring message is it's not the end of the world. And the other boring side of that message is it's not the opening of the gates of paradise either. It's an interesting time, you know, particularly if you want to think deeply about what it takes to give the impression of understanding and what it would mean to actually understand. I mean, we don't know. We don't know how matter gives rise to self-consciousness. We don't know how matter gives rise to subjective experience. That is the hard problem in the philosophy of mind. We don't know how brains do it, you know, much less do we know how something which isn't an organic, biologically evolved brain could do it. It's an open question. It is an intensely interesting question to me. If it's not to you, that's okay. It doesn't make you sheeple. All right, sheeple, catch you later.